Bottle pop, truth drop, welcome to the show. Champagne secrets, let your power grow. Every video, spark, ignite your inner light. Raise a glass to the future, shining bright. Empowerment is the code, we decode. Unravel mysteries, life's own secret load. Step by step, tap in, find your flow. With champagne secrets, you gonna glow.
Unlock the strength within you, watch it bloom. Life's a canvas, painted every room. Through ups and downs, cheers to what's next. Champagne secrets, life's complex. Champagne secrets, let your power grow. Every video, spark, ignite your inner light. Raise a glass to the future, shining bright. Empowerment is the code, we decode. Unravel mysteries, life's own secret load. Step by step, tap in, find your flow. With champagne secrets, you're gonna glow. Unlock the strength within you, watch it bloom. Life's a canvas, painted every room. Through ups and downs, cheers to what's next. Champagne secrets, life's complex.
Confidants, what is your profession? See my nothing, soldiers and empowerment over here.
Pop that cork, let it rain, living lavish, no restraint.
Scoot up for a second and let's talk. Yo, DJ, roll that beautiful champagne footage.
All my life, all my life, heard this secret. If not, I've been seeking this special secret. This is something that I've been trying to put my friends on, and I finally found it, you know. This is the champagne secrets moment. I wanna share it with y'all, so tap in. Scoot up for a second.
Bottle pop, truth drop, welcome to the show. Champagne secrets, let your power grow. Every video, spark, ignite your inner light. Raise a glass to the future, shining bright. Empowerment is the code, we decode. Unravel mysteries, life's own secret load. Step by step, tap in, find your flow. With champagne secrets, you're gonna glow.
Unlock the strength within you, watch it bloom.
Champagne Gang, Fizz Fam, Confidants, baby, welcome to the Champagne City for Talk Yo Shh. Now I hope y'all knew we was gonna talk about it, right? I know y'all knew we was gonna talk about it, because if y'all been around the Champagne City for any amount of time, y'all already know we had this discussion a while ago, and I said I was not covering the Diddy trial unless they brought out everybody else that was involved in it. Because in order to prove that this man was involved in racketeering, that he was deserving of a RICO, he would have had to fulfill the oath. Otherwise, it was just going to be a Rick. And that's what we ran into with this case. I tried to tell y'all. I really did. In order for there to be a crime, you have to have two things involved. You have to have the act that was criminal. Then you got to be able to prove the intent. Was the intent also criminal? We also talked about the fact, how in the world did they combine all of these charges together? How? You combine a RICO, racketeering, you combine that with transporting prostitutes. Hell, if that's the case, it's a whole lot of people need to be doing federal time, don't you think? They went after this case so hard. Press. Diddy gotta go. Diddy gotta go. Diddy got convicted on public opinion. That's what Diddy got convicted on. Diddy got convicted for being a freak. Diddy got convicted by his choice. Let me say it like that. That's what Diddy got convicted by. Because it definitely wasn't on these charges. So we going to get into it, and then I'm going to drop the link if anybody wants to come up and let me know what y'all think about this whole Diddy situation. Because I just never understood what angle were they going at. In order for you to prove that there was racketeering, again, I said you got to be able to prove the O in the Rick. You got to be able to prove that. And in order to prove that, then you'd have to prove that there was other people involved. Which I absolutely believe, allegedly, if you connect the dots, if they are really saying that this is what it is and we really let him slip on this charge, then you would also have to release the names of the other individuals that's in the organization. That can't happen. I still have a bunch of curiosities as to why the U.S. Marshals, Homeland Security, went to arrest Diddy. Then, instead of the trial being about, and I ain't even watched none of it. I really haven't even followed it, because I said in the beginning, if they weren't going to release the names of everybody else that was involved or the rest of the celebrities, then I don't want to talk about it. Because you're trying to hang all this on one person. Hell, it's a whole bunch of them need to go down. If we locking up people for carrying prostitutes across state lines. But here's my question, right? Here's my question for y'all, for real. If he was found not guilty on the major charges, which is what you was really trying to get him on, the other charges was thrown in there because you knew if you couldn't get him on two of them, at least two of them in the charges was going to stick. I have some questions. Where is the 200 and so other victims that were coming forward that's supposed to be a part of this? What happened to them? This whole case was built around Cassie and a Jane Doe. This whole case. And I'm in confusion. And the reason I'm in confusion is because you're trying to tell me Diddy had a whole crime organization and he only had two bottom bitches. That's what y'all trying to tell me? Because that's who the prosecution built this entire empire around. Cassie and Jane Doe. who allegedly, according to what I heard in the YouTube streets, he's still paying her rent. How exactly did you think she was going to be a credible witness? Stories come out about Cassie leaving and coming back. About Cassie allegedly making statements saying, what do I still have to say allegedly if it already came out in court? That mean it ain't alleged no more, right? Ain't that factual? But just to protect myself of Cassie allegedly saying, what was I supposed to do? Jay-Z wasn't available. See, the problem with a lot of these, here's where it crossed the line for me. And it was well before a jury had ever been selected for this case. It crossed the line for me when Cassie came out, and instead of immediately seeking an indictment, you looked for monetary damages. Yeah. If you were really abused, right? If this really happened to you, and I'm not going to take away from you what you went through, but if it was really this bad, then why didn't you immediately say, I feel emboldened and safe enough now that I'm pregnant and got a husband or whatever the case may be, that now I'm willing to tell my story and I want him locked up for everything that he did to me. And I'm finna tell you exactly what he did to me and what he did to countless others so that he can get off. So that he can get time and get locked up. If you was really caring about getting justice, then why wasn't it originally about justice? Why was it about money? All of these. I'm saying the same thing about the Tyler Perry thing. Why was it about money first? Instead of, you did this to me. This is a violation. This was against the law. You know what you did. I want you locked up. You know why? Because we live in a day and age where everybody has a price. There it is. Everybody can be bought. We have such a jacked up country that we're currently residing in, that people got to make decisions about feeding their family or paying their rent because they don't have enough money to do both, because inflation is so high. They got to figure out, is it going to be cheaper to drive their car or take an Uber? Which is cheaper? Come on now. Majority of these girls that end up in these situations, sad to say, they chase a bag. We see it all over Instagram. We see it all over social media. This younger generation is just chasing a bag. That's all they care about. All they care about is the bag. A lot of them will deal with what comes with the bag because it comes with the bag. If that's emphatically what she said, what else was I going to do? Jay-Z wasn't available. That means you're looking to screw up, not down. Because where do you go after Diddy? Who could Beyonce go be with after a Jay-Z? Outside of going outside the culture and going to get one of them Dubai princes. At this point, what you gonna do? Do like Portia, go find you an African king, prince. Because a lot of these individuals only care about the money, and that's the problem. I'll take what come with the bag. as long as I get the bag. Until you get tired of what you had to do in order to get the bag. And now here we go. Now we have buyer's remorse. I told y'all in the beginning, buyer's remorse is going to screw up this case. Because you have people who are actually victims attached to individuals who did what they did, and in order to see what it really was, and after they did what they did, they regretted what they did. They felt guilty by what they did. But you can't make me wrong for your guilt because of something you decided to say yes to. It's the same with the Tyler Perry situation with Derek Dixon. Unless he brings something out emphatically, them text messages, they ain't it. They ain't it. Them messages ain't it. All they prove is that a grown man came onto you because he saw something that he liked and you never said a word to stop it. Yeah, that's all those text messages prove. Unfortunately. Because not one time in those messages did I see a no. Was it implied? Was it inferred? Was there any fake quotations around it? Was there an exclamation point? Was there a hint at it? Was there a description of it? No, I saw playful bantering. You can't make me guilty because you didn't say no. And you see how that turned out for Miss Portia. Exactly. It's just, so right now, Diddy is basically only guilty of being a pimp. And then when it comes to the racketeering charge, y'all think about it. If I am driving prostitutes across state lines for my consumption, right? So you telling me I'm running a crime organization to please me? So I'm the only benefactor of my organization? I don't understand why, if a person decides they want to sell sex, why it's against the law. But for a grown person who decides this is what they want to do, why you gotta go to jail for it? You know why? Because it's another one of those industries that the government doesn't have a hand in. That's why. There's no tax credit for pimping. There ain't one. That's what happened with the weed industry. The government got tired of all the, the ballers, shot callers, the hood specialists and pharmacists making all the money and getting rich. And they wasn't able to tap in. So what they do, they start legalizing weed. Why? Because now they have to get their cut. It's all a game. Kendrick told us that. And I hear some people are saying this is just Diddy's, what do they call it? His humiliation ritual. Okay, I got it. Let me fall there with you too. All right, let me fall there with you too. So if this is his humiliation ritual, then who humiliating him? That's the question. See, we be asking the questions, but not asking all the questions that need to be asked when stuff is questioned. Because if it's a humiliation ritual, then who's humiliating him? That would mean, again, let me repeat, that there's someone above him that we need to be paying attention to. But we can't think that high because the only thing we can think about is poor little Cassie. I am sorry that Cassie got her ass beat by Diddy. I am sorry. No woman should have to go through physical, mental, or emotional abuse from a man, and vice versa. Vice versa. Let me make it clear. Because I started with the women does not mean I condone or agree with a woman putting her hands on a man. I do not. A woman stepping up to a man's face like you is him and he is you. I do not. Let's make it clear. But what I'm saying is, I don't agree with no man putting his hands on no woman. But she went back. You're not a victim. You're a willing participant that just got tired or replaced. Hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. She, not only that, she was getting him prostitutes. You sound like his number two. His bottom bitch in the game. But how you gonna hit me with a RICO, with racketeering, when I'm getting the fun for me? Because remember, they ain't brought out no other names of all these so-called celebrities that was supposed to be at this party. Do you know why? Because they dropped the racketeering charge. So now they don't have to. Here's what I think. And y'all tell me how y'all feel. I feel like somebody way up above, this person that's performing the humiliation ritual, the one who's humiliating him that we're speaking of. I feel like let me see. I feel like he's really just dangling Diddy out there. And I feel like even with him being dangled out there, I feel somebody made a call to somebody and said, okay, y'all done took this too far. Y'all need to figure out how to make it go away. You can't tell me in a case, and I'm no way a lawyer. I'm not. But you cannot tell me in a case this serious where you're trying to hit an individual with a RICO charge, with racketeering. We gonna read something on what racketeering really is, because in order to get the full in-depth of it. But you cannot tell me that in a case this deep, with so much on the line that y'all said, that instead of dealing with the portions of the case that could have been a part of the criminal organization, all of the horrible, atrocious things that Diddy has done, you stay away from that part of the case that could potentially help prove your RICO, which y'all say y'all have, and you focus on what this man liked to do in the bedroom. Like y'all was little kids that got distracted by a porno and needed to see how freaky the porno got. That's what I really feel like in this case. Cause it was like, sweetie, when the baby oil came up, the whole case shifted. Everything shifted because now everybody want to know, what is you doing with this baby oil? Well, what else is you doing with the baby oil? He like it slippery. So y'all trying to tell me that, see, this is why we have a late show. This is why. Now I need y'all to answer me in this chat. Y'all telling me y'all and y'all significant other have not, and I am in no way vouching for Diddy. I could care less about any of these celebrities. But I need us to pay close attention to stuff that's happening when stuff is happening. When they are dangling meat in front of us like this, maybe you should be looking up to see, hey, can I see the hand of who's holding the string? That's the thing. But y'all trying to tell me y'all ain't never been with y'all significant other and y'all wanted to rub each other down and baby oil. Come on, y'all. We gonna talk. Let's talk. This channel for the grown folk. Grown discussions and bubbly banter. Yeah. So you telling me y'all ain't never rubbed each other down in baby oil and just slipped and slid? Niecy in here. She ain't gonna leave me out there by myself. Cause, Niecy, the fellas in here being quiet. They being real quiet. But I'm trying to understand. I'm really trying to understand. This became a case about Diddy being a freak and what he liked to do at his parties, as opposed to being a case about this kingpin that has this whole criminal organization that like smuggling people across state lines and screwing them until they are senseless, like Jeffrey Dahmer was lobotomizing them from the top of the head. I guess he was lobotomizing them from the bottom. And you arrested this man on this, built the whole case around this. Then you turned around and dealt with what was going on in his bedroom. Whole case. Well, how he like it? Well, what'd he do with the baby oil? Well, can we see the videos? Hornballs in the courtroom got distracted by a little ass and some pecker. The opportunity to see it on full display. That's all this was. You can't convince me otherwise. You really can't. Because how? How? How did we have y'all, I don't know. I don't know. This look, what is I saying? This timeline is cooked. It is cooked, scrambled, fried, boiled, double-breasted, burnt, cooked again. I don't know. This what y'all think? Hold on, what? Progressive said, I seen the cost outweigh the benefit. Cannot whisper his going and comings without mentioning his company, but plot thickens. They said the jury seen videos. Remember the names of the jury. I'm just saying, y'all. Why? I think somebody really got a call and said, all right, y'all going too far. Y'all need to make this go away. And they had to throw it. That's how I feel about it. Because there's no way they fumbled like this. But they been handing out Ricos like they handing out water on a hot day these days. I know how to get them. Throw Rico at him. And then when we're in court, let's not discuss anything that has anything to do with the RICO. And got tossed out. You had to be able to prove intent. When there is a crime, there are two things. There's the crime, there's the act that you have to prove is criminal. Then there's the intent, which you also have to prove is criminal. Okay, it's criminal to go and hire out of state prostitutes and bring them across state. So all y'all ladies that got flued out for the bag, yo dude, you know, y'all need to stop telling y'all story times on TikTok is all I'm saying. Because if Diddy can go down because he flew some pecker and some putty tat over state lines, baby, y'all better stop doing story times on TikTok and Instagram about being flued out and making money. You better stop, because you next. You next. You gotta stop. You gotta stop. You gotta think twice, baby. You better start paying attention. You better wake up and pay attention. Pay attention. Cause all y'all getting flued out. Baby, you better be careful. Don't mention it on the plane. Because you know they be having air marshals on there too. Y'all gonna be in trouble. Y'all gonna be in trouble. If you can get fed time for flying, not flying some game in for somebody else, but flying it in for you. Now, if somebody else happens to help you enjoy you, you made it. Y'all wanted to invade this man's bedroom because somebody came out and said Diddy was a freak. That is crazy. If this was about Cassie and Cassie getting vindicated because she was beaten so whateverly, then she would have been encouraged to go after the abuse charges first. He was found not guilty on sex trafficking. He was found guilty on transporting prostitutes to come give him a good time. And transporting Cassie and Jane, I guess, to go give other people a good time. I don't understand. I don't understand. I don't understand. I'm going to say this. I feel it ain't over. It's just the beginning. I can care less what somebody do in their bedroom, long as no kids involved or violence. That trial was all about sex. That trial was all about his bedroom. That's the sad part. That's why where's all the evidence? You got all these lawyers that's supposed to have covered some of the videos. All these lawyers have 200, 3, all these women and people who have come forward and said that they too have been abused and died. Then we get down to the trial and it's just about Cassie and Jane Doe. And Cassie is just about as complicit as Diddy. And Jane Doe still getting her rent paid by Diddy. Still don't understand how she was a viable witness. She tainted from the beginning. You think you gonna get the truth from somebody who the person you trying to convict is still paying her rent? I just don't. Yeah, it was a silk moment. It was a silk moment. That this court was about having a meeting in Diddy bedroom. As soon as they start talking about that baby oil, honey, all attention shifted. It shifted from being about a Rico to let's see if we can get these tapes and find out who was involved. Let's see these tapes and see how nasty it got and what do you do with the baby oil they had to have um what was it, IVs and stuff the next day because they partied so hard and they was sweating and dehydrated. This became an open porno. That's what it became. That's what it became. Became an open porno. Uh, them trying to be able to see what really goes on at a Diddy party. And now you can do it legally because it's in the court. It's a part of the case. So you can legally view a porno. Legally view a porno. But explain to me how this porno of grown people doing whatever them grown people decided to do on them grown people time, as long as nobody was abused and forced to do this against their will. Wasn't there even a stripper that came out and said, bruh, I never had a problem with dealing with Diddy. I don't even understand what all this stuff is. Oh, let's get him for that because how dare they? So, some of them, okay, I ain't gonna say it. I'm finna drop the link. In case anybody wants to come up and share your thoughts on this Diddy case. This is crazy. And I'm also, let me see here.
Every video spark ignite your inner light. Raise a glass to the future, shining bright.
It's just the one I'm on.
Unravel mysteries, life's own secret love.
One of these websites my browser doesn't like. I think it's this one. Alright, so let me show you this. Because I think in order for us to really understand this whole thing, then we're going to have to pay attention to what racketeering is. And that's why we got to be like super, super careful when we call ourselves. See, y'all, I'm so used to using OBS. When I get on stream, y'all, I'll be like, what? What am I doing? Okay, I think that's the one I want. Okay, but it says from P. Diddy to John Gotti, what are racketeering charges? So, and can y'all hear my music good? It ain't too loud because I don't want it to drown me out. And I'm hungry too, so if y'all hear me eating. But it says from P. Diddy to John Gotti, what are racketeering charges? The Racketeer, Influence, and Corrupt Organizations Act. Yeah, how many of y'all knew that's what RICO stand for? I know some of y'all thought that CO stood for crime organization. That's okay. commonly known as RICO, has been a powerful tool in the arsenal of U.S. prosecutors since its enactment in 1970. Designed to combat organized crime, RICO provides a legal framework for prosecuting individuals and organizations engaged in a pattern of racketeering activity. The law targets a wide range of criminal activities, including bribery, fraud, money laundering, drug trafficking, and more by allowing prosecutors to charge individuals for crimes they ordered or assisted in even if they did not directly commit them. RICO has significantly expanded the scope of criminal liability and has been instrumental in dismantling complex criminal enterprises. RICO has been used to bring down some of the most notorious figures in American history, from mob bosses like John Gotti to high profile celebrities like P. Diddy. John Gotti, often referred to as the Teflon Don, was the head of the Gambino crime family and evaded conviction for years despite his involvement in numerous criminal activities. And this is what I don't understand. You came for Gotti for several unalivings along with other stuff. You coming for Diddy because he like the Packer? Is that what it is? This almost sound like a bunch of women that got mad that he wasn't messing with them no more. For real. I can't understand any other reason why his bedroom would come up unless someone just really wanted to embarrass him. Because if I abused you, right, why not take me to jail on the abuse? Why did any of the bedroom antics have to come out at all with Cassie? Oh, I know, because you, in order to get some money, you had to prove that he was a freak. And you know, there are a lot of things that some people still think are taboo. It is. A lot of people think it's taboo to be anything, to do anything besides missionary. People think it's taboo. So when you start talking about slobbing it down and gagging on it and all that extra stuff, now all of a sudden you're ill. Oh my God, you said that. So right now, he seems to be going against some weird entitled code that he seems to be breaking. Because it's like one of those, like, I shouldn't like it, but I do. That's what this trial gave me. This shouldn't excite me, but it do, so I want more. Because how the hell do you come after John Gotti, the Gotti, for unliving? That's what his criminal organization did. You telling me all Diddy criminal organization did was fuck? You locked them up because they like to pay to play? Baby, when y'all go on another date, y'all better not buy no food. Y'all better make that girl pay for her own stuff and you pay for your own stuff. Cause if you buy her food and take her home and give her some pecker, baby, you the next Rico. You better protect yourself. Protect yourself. You're saying Diddy's not a monster. No, I'm not. I'm saying if you want him to be charged as a monster, if you want him to be convicted as a monster, then charge him as a monster and let the case be about him being a monster. the way they charged him and the way they presented this case did not match. One of these are not like the other. Can you tell me which one it is? Charging a freak with a RICO? Hey, you know who should have been hit with a RICO then? Y'all remember Bill Bellamy and How to Be a Player? He definitely will have a RICO. If you can get a RICO for paying for coochie and throwing pain and all this stuff and breaking hearts, then he should have definitely had a RICO. So y'all better really be paying attention to this Diddy case, especially some of you up and coming younger men and younger women. Some of you people who are just kind of slithering into the industry. You better be careful because they showing you. They showing you. You can get a RICO for being a freak. They showing you. But I want to know what y'all think about it. Listen, I haven't seen a pimp. I haven't seen a pimp yet. Do a lot of years pimping. That's all I'm saying, Niecy. This at this point, this is why I have the thumbnail the way I do, because this is my question, right? Because if you didn't get him on the major charges that you was really trying to get him with, which was the racketeering and which was the sex trafficking, then did he really lose? To me, that's a win. I only got hit with shit being a pimp, driving some coochie across the state line. Okay, I'll take that. I'll eat that. That's crazy. That is crazy. Let me see here. Uh, all right, so I scrolled down. What is the RICO Act? Hold on one second, y'all. All right, y'all, I'm back. I had to get my pizza. Hold on. So, what is the RICO Act? The RICO Act, formerly known as the Racketeer Influence and Corrupt Organizations Act, was enacted as a part of a broader Organization Crime Control Act of 1970. This landmark legislation was introduced to provide law enforcement with the tools necessary to combat the persuasive influence of organized crime in various sectors of American society. Prior to RICO, prosecuting members of criminal organizations was often challenging due to the fragmented nature of their operations and the difficulty in linking high-ranking members to specific criminal acts. The RICO Act addressed these challenges by allowing for the prosecution of individuals and groups involved in a pattern of racketeering activity, thereby enabling a more comprehensive approach to dismantling criminal enterprise. So I have a question for y'all, right? Do you think if the federal government is going to try someone for a RICO, do you think any other charges should be attached to that? What y'all think? I'm flabbergasted. The FBI played these type of games in court. I'm not too shocked. Now, when I first talked about this, I thought he was completely gonna walk. I really did. I said in the video, not only that, I said if it went all the way to the end, that something would happen to stop it. I thought they was gonna get, I'm a creator, I'm a producer, so my mind went movie. I thought they was gonna get a special call that said, this is a matter of national security, cut it out. But that ain't what happened. However, he still didn't get hit with the biggest ones. And to be honest with you, on the two that he did get hit on, I think he's gonna get off with time served. It was about who he allegedly took to Pound Town. People wanted to see their favorite stars. Bitch said, yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I can agree with that. Because, think about it. You got the opportunity to see your favorites in the act. You taking that opportunity. Hell, some of us took that opportunity for less. I'm trying to scroll. But see, even right here, this was another problem that I had. Because it says prosecutors can demonstrate that high-ranking members of an organization are responsible for the crimes committed by their subordinates. Mr. Prosecutor, where are the other members then? You cannot have one man on the stand and say the one man is all the members of the crime organization. You have to prove the organization. When we watch Godfather and they tried to come for Tony no, that was not Godfather. Girl, get your life. When he tried to come for Michael Corleone, what happened? They came after the whole family. Why? Because they were a crime organization. How do you prove Diddy is a crime organization, but only him is in there? Nobody else is going down with this. Nobody else. No CEO, no CFO. No, the only thing that you got close was his right-hand girl. But outside of that, how do you... I'm just disgusted. I should say I'm shocked, but I'm not. I'm not. Because I knew something weird was going to happen. At the end of the day, if you get him on racketeering, sex trafficking, RICO, in itself, they would have had to tell and release who was a part of the organization. And I still think them names that's a part of the organization that just got off is a lot higher than we think. And some individuals that we haven't even thought of yet. They're my thoughts. Above his pay grade. Man. Different conversation. Different table. You can't hear me, Niecy? Try to go out and come back in, Nisi. But we gonna do a video on it. Y'all know me. I love throwing together a video. We gonna do a video on it. That's what I want to know. Progressive one. I keep asking this question. Ain't nobody answering me. Where is Olivia Pope? We need the real one because I really feel like life is always imitating art. So if there's a fake Olivia Pope, baby, she's based on a real one. Where is Olivia Pope? Because she's needed. Ain't no way this would have happened with Olivia Pope on board. Mm-mm. Ain't no way. None. Definitely need B613. He wouldn't get along. Well, he didn't get along with the president in Scandal either, so never mind. He definitely wouldn't get along. They wouldn't get along. Total allegiance to him. That's Mr. I am the hell and the high water. But y'all, I think we did pretty good. I only wanted to be in here for about an hour to give y'all a preview because I am going to do a video on this. I'm going to start working on it tomorrow. Hopefully, me and CapCut don't have no issues when I finish editing everything and putting it together so I can download it and upload it. But thank you all for joining me for our Diddy talk. Baby, we gonna have to do this again. But thank you all for joining me. Hope you have a wonderful and peaceful and amazing night. Make sure you thank God for everything He's done for you today, including the breath in your body. And always remember, if it doesn't cause you to elevate, baby, it's causing you to depreciate. Now raise those glasses, clink, and let's drink till we meet again. Ta-ta.